race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report, show number 387 for Thursday, July 17th. Scott Hammer, Ryan Miller, and Brian Smith in the studio with us.
In the studio?
In the studio.
That's pretty cool.
Twice in 3 weeks.
Well, I was told we were going to have cookies here, but I didn't see any.
I did see you post that. I was hoping you were bringing the cookies.
No, I also got here early for hair and makeup, and I thought I was going to get a full head of hair, and Ron and I look pretty similar, so I must not have got the other version.
We go to the same barber.
Okay, then. Coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and I did check. We are on Facebook again this weekend.
Yay.
Last week, not really sure what happened with that. Working that out, but we are there. Live from the Dominator Race Products studio tonight. As we just mentioned, we're going to be speaking with sprint car pilot and Hot Wheels racer, Mr. Brian Smith. Is that still a thing? You still do that, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
We're about 3,800 cars into it. We've given away over the last 5 years,
Wow.
so still going good.
And I'm assuming they're more than $1 now, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe like $1.18 at Walmart.
So you're like $5,000 into Hot Wheels.
Something like that. Almost all but 100 of it's been different people donating and sending me boxes of cars and all that kind of stuff. The fans have been awesome about that, taking care of that for me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that a little bit later in case you missed last time you were on the show. I think it was when we were out at Big D's Pizza in the parking lot.
Yeah. How
Quite
long
a few
ago was
years.
that?
That was 2021, I believe.
I was going to say 4 years.
I think it was 2021. I thought it was longer than that, but now I think about it, I remember where I was working at the time, so it had to be 2021. And then before that, we had when we were in the studio a few years ago.
I do
So
remember the
you
studio.
are now a three-timer. That's a very short club of guests that have been on more than at least three times.
Well, I hope something between then and now has happened that's interesting we can talk about.
I hope so.
I guess we'll
too.
find out.
Have you done anything the past 3 or 4 years?
Maybe a couple things.
Okay. All right. We'll find out more about that later. In the meantime, your Speedy sponsored track of the week and a chance to win a Speedy sponsor sticker. You need to head over to speedysponsors.com, set up your free driver profile.
Okay, this is the first time hearing about this,
Well,
so I'll have to check it out.
This is why
Glad I'm on the show.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good way to promote your sponsors. You can put your sponsor information in there. It's a searchable database of sponsors. Your fans can connect with your sponsors. Tracks are in there.
We know that our fans are very loyal to sponsors on race cars. So if you've got a sponsor on your race car, your fans can support them. It's really cool.
The whole concept of it was originally developed where Scott Warner, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's a race car owner, former racer, and former almost promoter of Millstream a few years ago. Came up with he was looking for, I don't know if it was a contractor or somebody, and he wanted to support somebody that supported racing, but it was hard time finding what he was looking for that supported racing. This way, he can go find somebody that supports racing. Speedy
It's kind of
and it's all free right now.
of an Angie's List for racers.
And it's also it's got a new feature within the last week or so where it's almost like a social media kind of thing too. You can also, as a driver or sponsor, you can add posts, and as fans, they can sign up for a free account and comment on those posts.
All right, I'll check that out.
Just another way to connect with the racing
A
community.
couple more weeks, it'll displace Facebook.
Yes, we're just about there. Almost. So anyway, if you want a free Speedy sponsor sticker, again, the Speedy sponsor track of the week, we usually feature a track, a series, a driver, or sponsor each week. We're doing a track this week is Eldora. You can find out a little bit more about Eldora at speedysponsors.com. And if you type hashtag Eldora into the comments of our Facebook Live or the YouTube Live, Dave's going to put your name on a little wheel, and we're going to spin that at the end of the show to determine who wins the Speedy sponsor sticker. Just that easy. And you don't have to do it once. If you do it more than once, you don't get on the board more than once. You're just wasting typing. But that's okay. We also have our sponsors for the Oakshade Chris Mize Memorial Hot Dog Race. We got a new one on board. Actually, a couple.
Really?
A few new ones, yes. Looking for participants, though. Late model drivers and sportsman drivers. Haven't had anybody sign up yet. HammerdownRacingReport.com. If you want to get in on this race, head on over there. There's a form right on the homepage, because what we'll do is next week on the show, because that first, the late model hot dog race is coming up on July 26th. That's a week from Saturday. Next week on the show, we'll determine who the competitors are if we have more than 4 entries, well, actually, if we have more than 2 entries, then we're going to spin the wheel and determine the 2 competitors and then 2 alternates if we have enough for that. So, chance to win $150 cash, $50 from the Hammer Down Racing Report, $100 from Black March Defense Labs. They wanted to jump in on that. And this is brand new, breaking news. If I can find my phone.
Push the button.
No, I got to find my phone here so I can share that picture. We are going to have, courtesy of Big D's Barbecue and Charlie K's Barbecue,
Really?
which are still a thing. Big D's, he's got his trailer. He goes out and does
okay.
barbecue things. We are going to have, and these are, of course, the Chris Mize Memorial Hot Dog Races in
Right.
honor of Chris Mize, the great former
Race director
at Sandusky Speedway, and we got some
and
Sandusky
great
Speedway
friend
news,
of
too.
the Hammer Down Racing
Yes,
Report.
absolutely. He's the one that introduced us to these hot dog races. Brian, you asked what a hot dog race is. We have 2 competitors. Probably wouldn't work for sprint cars, I'm thinking, without the starter, but two racers out on the track. They start from a dead stop at the start-finish line, do a lap, come back around, stop at the start-finish line, get out of their cars. They got to get all unstrapped, eat a hot dog, down a pop, get back in their cars. They're not allowed to leave. They'll have an official at each car that'll make sure they get all the safety gear back on before then they can take off again and complete the second lap. And whoever completes the second lap first is the hot dog race winner.
That sounds like a lot of fun to watch and absolutely miserable to take part in. I can't imagine trying to down a pop and a gut torpedo like one after another as fast as you can.
There has been some issues where people have had problems keeping it down. I think the very first one I witnessed at Sandusky Speedway that happened. But a new thing we're going to be doing, thanks to Big D's Barbecue and Charlie K's Barbecue, is we have a belt made, a championship belt. And although
Really?
we're going to have 4 of these races, one for each of the 4 classes that race regularly at Oakshade.
Right.
The late models, the DCR Graphic Sportsman, the Dominator Superstocks, and the Compacts. They're going to be spread out over different weeks. But as I mentioned, the late models first one coming up. And they probably have a little bit of an advantage here because we're going to time these. Same rules for all of them, but we're going to time the overall time. Whoever has the fastest overall time, a lot of time can be made up in the hot dog eating portion. So, maybe you're a compact guy thinking you may not have a chance. You do if you can make up a lot of time in the hot
I
dog
think some
thing.
of the super stock guys could look really good too.
But
There's some guys there that can eat.
here's what the belt looks like right there. The Chris Mize Memorial, Big D's Barbecue. My phone shut off. Hot dog race champion. We got the Oakshade logo on there as well. And that's going to be, it could be a recurring thing. The champion will get that at
Is Hammer Down on there? I mean, we are the
it should be on there.
we are the
right?
presenter.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll have
It's
to
a
work on
belt.
that.
We'll see. It's got Chris on it, so that's
That's
cool.
enough.
So yeah, overall fastest time, we'll get that belt. They'll get to keep it for a year, and then if we do this again next year, you may have to turn the belt in, unless you can defend your title and still have the fastest time.
There you go.
There you go. And again, if you're interested in being a sponsor, we're still taking sponsorship opportunities for that. The late model races, these are all at Oakshade. Late model race, as I mentioned, coming up July 26th. The Sportsman Chris Mize Memorial Hot Dog Race is going to be August 2nd. That's the following week. Then we skip a week, go to August 16th for the Dominator Superstocks, skip another week, and then August 30th for the Compacts. Again, if you're a driver and you want to possibly participate in that, again, late models, you're going for $150 cash, courtesy
For one
of
lap.
two laps.
Okay.
Courtesy of the Hammer Down Racing Report and Black March Defense Labs. $100 gift certificate going to the Sportsman winner.
Right.
And the Speedy Sponsors is going to be taking care of the Super Stock and Compacts. He's working on a whole package deal for that, which I haven't gotten all the details yet. So, anyways, more dates, more information, hammerdownracingreport.com. And if you want to sign up, that's where you can do that if you are a driver. So.
And late model guys, sign up. Don't make me come visit.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 laps for $150. That's $75 a lap. It's not
Yeah.
too bad, I don't think.
Most nights they don't make that much.
That much a lap. That's right.
Right.
If I do the math right, then probably
yeah.
not. Ron Miller Race Cars, your one-stop racing headquarters, located in Lambertville, Michigan. Ron Miller Race Cars has everything you need to keep your racing dreams on track, like welding skills. When you bend things on your race car and things break and you take it
Yeah.
over there. Or
Some guys keep challenging me, and they haven't won yet.
There was a few from this past weekend. I'm sure wasn't the only one.
No, not at all.
I'll give Ron Miller a call there. He's got parts and everything else you can need, and advice too. Again, I went to the hardware store to pick up a bolt and called you up and said, "Is grade 5 good enough, or do I
Yeah.
need grade 8?"
And I suggested
Grade
for
5.
that use, grade 5 was better because it yields rather than breaks.
Which was good because they didn't have the grade 8 version of what I was looking for.
There you
anyway,
go.
So it worked out. Ron Miller Race Cars, 734-856-7223. DCR Graphics is your source for high-quality wrapped stickers, die-cast banners, and more. If you're looking to upgrade your race team's look, DCR Graphics has you covered with full wrap starting at just $425. Want to showcase your car in miniature form? Get a box of 8 custom die-casts for only $135. He has them available for late models, sprints, and modifieds and street stocks super stocks. DCR even has more ways to show off your style. You can check out their brand new lineup of crew shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, flags, and more. Hit up DCRgraphics.com or call Dale at 419-308-9523 to place your order today. DCR Graphics, where speed meets style. Also sponsoring the show tonight, the Oakshade Raceway, Dominator Race Products, Magic Moment Entertainment, Dittman Motorsports, and Freeze Frame Photos. How about we get to our racing roundup before we talk to Brian here? A lot of racing this past
There
weekend.
was.
So let's. We even have a Hammer Down hotline call
Ooh,
tonight
wonderful.
too to check out.
Racing Roundup.
So going back to last Thursday, which seems so long ago now, they were racing at Butler for the Summer Nationals.
So much going on last week.
Mark Whitener picking up the win Thursday night up there in the late models. Michael Ledford winning in the modifieds, and then Butler Speedway turned right around, raced again on Saturday. Brad DeYoung winning in the modified feature. I believe that was the 1776 to win feature event. Dwayne Morley winning in the street stocks. Corey Gum, familiar name there, in the 4-cylinders, your winner. Saturday at Oakshade, Zach Mitchell picking up the win in the Dirt Car Summer Nationals / Valvoline American Late Model Series feature event. Tyler Nicely winning in the UMP Modifieds, and Chad Poorman making a last lap pass in the Dominator Superstock feature to win that. Fremont Speedway on Saturday, Cap Henry picking up the win in the 410. Steve Rando, your 305 winner. Keith Sorg getting it done in the dirt trucks. And then they turned around 2 days later and ran another race, the High Limit Sprint Car Series.
That Keith Sorg win was an exciting race, the whole race, Scott. He and Sean Valenti side by side, pulling sliders. It was a great race.
And he beat Sean Valenti. That's a feat in and of itself. Fremont Speedway then Monday night with a lot of action in that, the High Limit Sprint Car Series there. That was actually a makeup race from May, I believe. Mm-hmm. And picking up his first ever touring series win, which I didn't realize it until I was watching that, was Cole Macedo. And he had a memorable one there.
Yeah, he'll remember that one for a long time.
Just past the checkered flag, the finish line there. He
caught a right rear wheel
and up in the air.
Went for a
He
heck
did
of a
donuts in the air.
Yeah.
And then they had a hard time getting him to the scales. Did you ever do anything like that? That exciting?
I don't think I've crashed after the checkers like that before, but it definitely made it more memorable for your first win. And then his brother won the next night, so it was a really good weekend for them.
There you go. And it was
a couple days.
It was interesting to see them try to get the car on the scales afterwards too. That took a little bit of work to make sure he was legal there. I didn't see any parts really fly off, though, when he was up in the air, and it looked like most of the suspension was still attached.
It looked like it had all 4 wheels on it. I didn't look real close.
Because, they don't have like a long scale thing that's just one. They have the 4 individual scales for each wheel, so they had to get it all lined up right.
Brian, being a sprint car guy, your assessment, how's the car?
How's the car as far as...
Is it going back together?
Oh, I'm sure they put another car together anyway. I think that didn't they?
I think
said
they
that
had,
was a.
They had another one.
Yeah, they had another one they were putting together anyway.
Maybe a Knoxville car or something.
Yeah,
I heard something.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a new one going together for this weekend.
I didn't know how badly the frame was damaged. A lot of bolt-on stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure it was tweaked because he hit pretty good on both ends. So I'm sure it was twisted a little bit. Doesn't take much to twist them nowadays.
Flat Rock Speedway Saturday night canceled due to the rain. Wayne County Speedway Sunday night. That was the final event of the Dirt Car Late Model Summer Nationals. Nick Hoffman. A lot of the World of Outlaw guys showed up for that race because they were down racing at Sharon Friday and Saturday. Came up to Wayne County there. Nick Hoffman winning the feature there. Zach Mitchell clinched the 5th week championship. That was the only week he ran of the Hell Tour. And Jason Fager clinched the overall championship. And I know he was, he seemed a little grumpy and ready to go home after running the whole Hell Tour.
There's a reason they call it the Hell Tour, Scott.
I guess so. Tyler Nicely, again, picking up the win in the modifieds. Brandon Morrow winning in the street stocks, and Wes Staley, the mini stock winner there at Wayne County. Then we went to Attica Raceway Park on Tuesday for the Brad Doty, and as just were mentioned a minute ago, Carson Macedo picking up the win there. That had some crazy stuff happening in that as well, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But Carson Macedo winning the World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series Brad Doty Classic there Tuesday at Attica. Eldora Speedway on Wednesday. Back to High Limit Sprint Car Series action. Aaron Reitzel got the first Kubota High Limits racing feature. Corey Day picking up the second one. David Gravel. He was disqualified after finishing second in that second one due to his nose wing too far forward. Is this is that a thing?
It helps with the balance of the car if you can put the nose wing where you want. But they have a gauge. They have an L bracket, basically, that they put on the front wing and the front axle. And typically check it before the races, and it's something they can check quick. So I'm not sure what happened there. But they said it was like 3/4 of an inch
I think
too
that's
far.
what I saw, yeah. And they tried to give him every opportunity to try and maybe it was loose, it wasn't loose. They measured it several times, several different ways. And is that something you just overlook and forget to check? Or
I don't know. It's something that they always check. The officials always check that. So it's something you're always looking at.
As a race team, is that something you check to make sure you're not?
It doesn't move, and it doesn't move forward. Okay. It'll move backwards. You run into stuff all the time. Mine seems to move backwards more, and then you just look at your front bumper and see it's got to be close. But yeah, I don't. It's an interesting deal. I mean, it's been an interesting deal online with all the people, commenting on why it was that way and this, that, and the other. Give something for fans to talk about.
How much does 3/4 of an inch forward? How much of a difference would that make to the handling?
I can imagine that it could make a lot, or it could, make a little, depending on what your car handles like. If you just need a little bit more, 3/4 of an inch. If you're building a chassis or something and you move something 3/4 of an inch, we're talking a lot, right?
Well, that could be huge.
Yeah. So you move the right rear out 3/4 of an inch on your race car. I mean, that makes a big difference. So it just depends on how the rest of the car was set up.
So that gives you more downforce on the front of the car than moving that forward?
Yeah, it does.
I would imagine 3/4 forward would stick the nose better.
Okay, all right. So it seems justified then. Other Kubota High Limit racing action, they were scheduled to race at the Kentucky Sprint Nationals at Florence on Friday. Brad Sweet winning that. They were also scheduled to be there Saturday. That did get canceled due to rain. Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series action over the weekend. 34 Raceway on Thursday. Garrett Albertson picking up the win there. Then it was off to Lucas Oil Speedway for the 19th annual CMH Diamond Nationals. Ricky Thornton Jr. picking up the win Friday. Brandon Shepard picking up the win on Saturday. And then Tuesday at Shelby County Speedway, Bobby Pierce back in Victory Lane in Lucas Oil action. World of Outlaws, Real American Beer Late Model Series action, Battle at the Border at Sharon Speedway, as we mentioned. They were there Friday, Saturday. Bobby Pierce winning on Friday. Mike Marlar, your winner on Saturday. He was one of the guys that went up to Wayne County on Sunday, too.
Okay, sure.
With the Summer Nationals. World of Outlaw, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series action earlier this past weekend. Deer Creek Clash at Deer Creek Speedway. That actually was supposed to be last Thursday. That got canceled due to rain. Then they went to Wilmot Speedway for the Badger 40 on Friday and Saturday. Friday night canceled due to rain, but Buddy Kofoid picking up the win there on Saturday. Did you get to race with Buddy when he was here?
Oh, yeah.
Quite a bit?
We raced quite a bit together. Yeah.
How was watching him kind of grow as a sprint car driver? I mean, he's...
It was the same kind of thing when Carson came through here and Cole came through here. And they tried it with DJ Neto, too. But I mean,
Is that like a formula for
it was, yeah, it was the
getting
Linder
great
orphanage
race car
there.
drivers?
Yeah, the Linders went through all those kids, and they learned a lot. They learned how to race hard from the Linders, and you could tell that they weren't here for long. Every single one of them, they just raced differently, and they've all moved on at this point now, and they're all in World of Outlaws.
I think it was Buddy when he was on our show that said that there just wasn't as much quality racing for sprint cars in California. And come to this area, you can race 3 nights a week and at least 3 nights a week against tough competition. So that seems to be a formula for those guys.
Yeah, it worked out good for those 3 at least, and they're done with that now.
I was going to ask if there was another one in the pipeline here.
Now Cole was the Linder's last kid, they said, so there won't be any more of those.
Never say never. I've learned that as a race car driver, especially ones that say they retire 5 times and then.
Yeah,
still
we'll talk
racing.
about that later, too.
Yes, we will. Indy Next action, the Indy Next by Firestone at Iowa Speedway. That was won by Miles Rowe. NTT IndyCar Series action, the Sync 275 at Iowa. Saturday's race won by Pat O'Ward. The Farm to Finish 250 on Sunday was won by Alex Palou. NASCAR action, Xfinity Series over there in California at Sonoma. The Pit Boss Food Max 250, Saturday's winner, Connor Zilich, and Cup Series winner for the Toyota Save Mart 350 on Sunday, Shane Van Gisbergen.
What a surprise.
Did SVG run? I didn't see any of the Xfinity race. Did he run that?
I don't know.
Because he seems pretty unstoppable on the road courses recently. But there you go. Other action, the only other Dirt Car Summer National race we didn't talk about was Friday night up at Crystal Motor Speedway. Zach Mitchell also picking up the win there, which helped him in his effort to win the weekly championship.
Yeah.
Driver from South Carolina had a pretty good week up in the Midwest. I think he might be back.
Probably.
Yeah. Hammer down Army results from this past weekend. Grayson Warner finishing 8th in the Superstock A Main. Kurt Dickey finishing 15th in the Superstock A Main at Oakshade, and I finished 4th in the Superstock A Main. And I don't think I saw Peyton Hove. Oh, that's right. There weren't compacts this weekend. That's why.
That's why there were no compact results.
If you want to be part of the Hammer Down Army, you can get a Hammer Down Racing Report sticker courtesy of DCR Graphics. If you don't win one on the show, you can get one for $5. Just get a hold of Dale at DCR Graphics. He'll mail one to you, bring it to the track, whatever you want to do. And then as long as you submit your results, we'll report on your results as part of the Hammer Down Army each and every week, just like those guys. You need a sticker on your car, Brian.
Do I have to spend $5 or do I win one for being on the show? Well, you had to think about that way too long. I'll get my wallet out.
Except I don't have any left. We're at Ron's, so
Yeah,
I think
we'll work on this.
We can
one.
work on. Let me get back to you on that.
You know where I live.
Dittman Motorsports is your one-stop race shop in Northwest Ohio, and they offer on-site parts services at Fremont Speedway and Oakshade Raceway. Dittman Motorsports provides Hoosier Racing tires, high-performance parts, and full-service support to keep you on track and in the lead, featuring the new late-model right rear number 2 tires, along with super stock, modified, and sportsman tires. Whether you need expert service or top-tier gear, Dittman's got you covered. Call 419-283-8580. Stop by the shop or check them out online at DittmanMotorsports.com. And Freeze Frame Photos is your go-to for all your racing photo needs, whether it's heart-pounding action shots or those unforgettable victory lane moments. Freeze Frame Photos has you covered, but that's not all. They also have a fantastic range of custom gifts to commemorate your favorite races, including print magnets, canned koozies, tumblers, wood plaques, custom slate photos, wind spinners, and buttons, just to name a few. If you want to add a personal touch, that's not a problem. Freeze Frame Photos can customize any photo or gift item with your own text and graphics, making each piece uniquely yours. Call Charlie today at 419-407-6994 and let Freeze Frame Photos turn your favorite memories into timeless treasures. Check out their new website as well. They put thousands of photos up on there. FreezeFramePhotos.redframe.com. That's Freeze Frame Photos, special moments frozen in time. So let's. I didn't tell you this, but new thing for our show is our guests get to interview us. So, go ahead.
I tried that before. I did a YouTube show for Fremont Speedway for a year. I think it might have been 2014. I think Shelley Farmer and I, and we had a bunch of the racers from the track come on, and It was interesting. I'm not an interviewer type, but we had a bunch of questions we'd ask them, and I think we lasted like an hour and a half. Showed some highlights and that kind of stuff, and I'm glad that it ended. It was neat that we did it for a while, but I can tell you that the only thing
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
It is a lot of work, and I'm not good at doing that kind of setup work, so I try to think quick on my feet. But I'll tell you that the best thing that came out of that deal was at the end of the show we had all the guests take like a 3x5 note card and put it on top of their head and draw their race car on top of their head with a magic marker. And I thought that was really funny. I hope Shelley still has those somewhere. But we had a whole bunch of them, Kenny Jacobs and Dale Blaney and all those guys came in. We had Rick Ferkel come in at one point. And
did any of them actually look like cars?
some of them were okay, but Rick came in and the first thing, he didn't even say hello. And the first thing he said was, "I'm not drawing a picture on my head." Yes, sir, Mr. Ferkel. We're not doing that today. So that was so unfortunately we don't have one of Rick's up there, but we have some neat ones.
Well, you were the 2004 Attica and Fremont 305 sprint champion. You've been around. You've done a lot of sprint car racing.
I've been around for a long time, but not long enough.
Not long enough. Let's address the rumors. Shall we do that?
So I don't know where this.
That's my question is, where did these rumors, how did they get started, and is there any truth to them?
Yeah, no, this is not my farewell tour. I hope to. I just told my mom, and she asked me about this today. I was on the way over here, and I stopped and I said hello, and she asked me if this is my farewell tour, and I told her I hope that my career outlives her. So I don't know how people are going to take that, but I just hope it lasts a long time. But I don't know. I went to Kistler's Race Products out there. They helped me out, and I was out there paying on my bill or whatever, and somebody said that they were talking at the races that this might be my farewell tour because I went to we went to Sharon and we went to Wayne County this year, and then we went out to Wilmot and 141 and raced with the IRA in Wisconsin. So we haven't been around a whole lot. And we just wanted to go other places where we haven't been in a while, and I've never raced in Wisconsin. So we went and did those 2 races there, which was fantastic, by the way. Great trip, great people out there. And so, yeah, it's just my wife and I, and my youngest daughter went out there with us. And we're just going to do different things. I've been doing this for 35 years, and from time to time we go do something else for a year. We did the sod deal up in Michigan for a year. I think 2010 we chased the All-Stars all over the place and raced all kinds of different places that year. You just never know where we'd show up. So it's just one of them times where, people get used to seeing you, and then you go do some other things for a little bit, and they think you're disappointed.
Where'd Brian go?
Yeah, which is great. I mean, they loved me when I came back home. The kids love the Hot Wheels deal, like you said.
Do you take that with you to the
absolutely.
other tracks too?
That's one of the main reasons that we go do other places, because we want to give Hot Wheels to the kids.
When you go to these other places, are they familiar with that whole deal, or is that like
yeah, it depends on the place, but usually, Twitter has helped out a lot. Twitter has made my career last at least 5 years longer since we started doing that, because I got sponsors from other places that follow me on Twitter. Like Tulsa Driveway is a big sponsor, Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? They're not around here, but they're a big supporter. Jetco, the same one that's on the 69K of the Donnie Kreitz car, has been a big supporter. I've got people from California to New York to Michigan to Florida, all over the place that help us do this kind of thing. So people know, when we get there, and we try and make sure we talk to the announcers and stuff too. That
just real quick, just for the people maybe that aren't familiar with that, tell them about your little Hot Wheels setup that you have.
Sure. So in 2020, everybody was shut down racing because of the COVID deal, and we have always done like pictures in the car and always try to do things for the kids, coloring contests, all kinds of stuff to try and get kids involved, because you get the kids involved, and then the parents have to take them, and then that kind of thing. So for us, we were just looking for another thing to make an impact on people and build relationships, because it's all about that, right? All life is about relationships. So we get the kids come down to the trailer, then the next thing you know, the parents are coming up, and then you get to meet people and talk and that kind of stuff. So with the Hot Wheels deal, there's a thing called 3D Bot Maker on YouTube. You should check it out. It's pretty neat. It's high production quality downhill Hot Wheels racing, right? So they have this King of the Mountain deal where you build up a car, you send it out there, and he races it on the track. He does a video about it, and I'm like, well, we're not racing. I gotta race. So I spent like, I don't know, $60 or $65 building this Hot Wheels car because I had to buy the right one. It had the right wheels and the axles and the polishers and all this stuff to build this car up. Tungsten putty, to make it heavier and all this stuff.
It's like a Pinewood Derby thing.
Yeah, kind of. Yep. So it's so I thought, well, this would be great at the racetrack. So I'll build one of these deals. I'll buy 100 Hot Wheels, and I'll have the kids come down and race me. So I built a little track that had a couple of like 8-foot long pieces of PVC 2x4 basically, and put some walls on it. Put a couple switchbacks with some track that I found. And the first night we did it, I put it up on Twitter and Facebook, and it like exploded for somebody as famous as I am, I guess. It went up pretty well. And kids came down. They loved it. The next week it got bigger. The next week it got bigger. People started sending me cars. People started handshaking me money to buy more cars. That got me to go racing in Pennsylvania. Went to Port Royal because they wanted me to bring it out there. A guy by the name of Dennis Gainey, who's gaining some fame here as a car owner here lately, out at Knoxville area, paid for my whole trip to come out there with the family. I think we took over a dozen people out there, like fans and everything, to go out to Knoxville and race their last point night race in 2021 maybe. And that deal there, like the radio station went and bought all the cars at the local grocery store and brought the whole display over to the house, or over to the trailer, and we were there for an hour and a half giving out cars. It was kids' night, so it just worked out perfect. Got to race with a bunch of the racers and stuff, and from then on, it's just gotten bigger. And like I said, the fans have supported. I've had people come up to me, little kids, like they've raced me 10 times or whatever, and they bring a bag of cars because they just want to give back to what we're doing. So nice. Through that, like I said, it's been a relationship builder with people, and we've been able to make a positive impact. We have Grace Community Church on the car, so we have an agenda. We're trying to get people to meet Jesus through that avenue. So it's been a very good ministry for us too. So that's what we do with the Hot Wheels deal.
So you set this track up in your trailer every week?
Every week. So the switchback deal we had on there, and if you go on the Brian Smith Fan Club on Facebook, if you go there and go through some of the old videos, you can see what we had before. But we just had so many kids and so many people, and adults wanted to race afterwards. And
do they get to keep the cars too?
No, if an adult wins, they got to give a car to a kid. But my goal with it was to get a one-on-one with a kid. When I was a little kid growing up at Toledo Speedway, we used to get to sit on the race car and ride around the track, and you could go down there and get autographs. And if the race car driver gave you one-on-one time, it was the greatest thing in the world, right? That's why I'm a race car driver now, because of that kind of thing. Danny Bird and Bob Seneker and Bob Keselowski and all that. Yeah. Those guys are my heroes, and to get to meet those guys, just made me want to do it more. So it was to the point where we were getting lines so long that, we had kids 50 deep at some point, and my wife or my daughters are out there throwing cars to them, just keeping them involved until they can get up, to where we're at. And like I said, we've been very fortunate with donations for cars.
So do you stick around then until that line until everybody goes through that line, or do you have to cut it off at some point?
I would never cut it off. And as far as that goes, like we went out to Wilmot, and the way that track is set up, you can't really get to the pits. So we had one kid, and everyone was loaded up except for us and one other sprint car, and then there was a couple of the 4-cylinders. And we just sat there and we're like, well, we'll just wait till everybody's gone in the pits, or everybody's gone in the stands. And sure enough, a family comes down, and they had a special needs daughter and a couple other kids, and we had this fantastic conversation with them, and got to know them. So it's worth it right to the very end. If you don't know, also at Fremont Speedway, maybe it's moving in on 10 years now. I took one of my old trophies and we put a new plaque on it. It's the Art Ball trophy. It's got an Art Ball painted truck on the top of it, and it goes to the last person that's in the pits. So we were last, but we still won. It says on the little plaque. So, and it's a traveling trophy. It's been traveling all over the place. It gets a sticker on it, or an armband or something from the drivers who stay the last. So
how did you beat Corey McCoy?
Well,
that had to be a challenge.
So it was Eric Devanna, Corey McCoy, and myself that came up with this, because we were the last three standing there.
Right.
But forever it was either Art Ball or Scott Kralik at one point. But Art Ball was always there the longest. I beat Art Ball one time in this before we actually had this trophy. There's a picture of his trailer pulling out. You can see the 01 on it, and I'm standing on top of my race car like this because I was the last one there. So
That is so cool.
that's for me now. I mean, obviously, I'd like to win 100 races a year, but for me, it's all about the relationships we build with the people there. And if it takes me till the very last person there to make a connection with somebody, or they waited to talk to me, or they have something come up that they want to get off their chest, you know, I try to be there. I'll be in my suit until 3 o'clock in the morning, and I have been, and we were there till 3:45 just 2 weeks ago. So, but that's the part that I enjoy. So,
You're still getting the lines of 50 deep.
it just depends on the night. Yeah, like we were gone for a couple of weeks. We came back, and the kids knew we were there, and like there they were again. So, yeah, and I've seen a lot of kids a lot of different times, and it's great. Sometimes they'll bring their own cars down. Sometimes adults will bring their own cars over, and it's like I said, it's a good time. They look forward to it, and I look forward to it.
So some of those Hot Wheels cars are pretty collectible. Do you ever scan them to see, ooh, I like that one?
There isn't a single car worth anything if it doesn't make a kid smile.
Absolutely.
So I've had lots of older cars, lots of cars in packages. For the most part, we give away new cars. Almost always, I just give away new cars. It's only,
Right.
it's only fair to give the new cars to the kids. I've had plenty of older cars given to me, and they do get to the kids. We give them to the grandstands or whatever. But when they come down and race, I don't care what it is. I know there's special cars that are treasure hunters or whatever. I don't care. Rip that thing open, put it in a rack, let them kids pick through it, and if that's the one they want, that's the one they're going to race. So
Very cool. Back to this farewell tour rumor thing.
I thought I was over
So-
that already. See how I
what-
changed the subject, and now you're
I
bringing
know.
it back.
I'm bringing it back, but this
Yeah.
is the last question. What is in the future for Brian Smith Racing? I mean, do you see yourself? You mentioned you're going to keep racing to outlive your mother, I guess. Your racing's going to outlive your
I hope
mother.
my mom lives a long time. She's listening. I really do.
So no immediate plans to retire.
My entire race team is based on the generosity of others. I will race until other people's money runs out. I mean, I don't take any house money. I've worked at the same job for going on 32 years now, and I don't take that money and put it into the racing deal. That, racing can cause issues in marriages, and if you got time, I'll tell you that whole story from a long time ago. But I don't take any of the house money. It all comes from sponsors, and as far as that goes, I don't ask for money. Sometimes I'll ask if people are going to come back on, obviously, so because we've had several sponsors on for years. But anybody who wants to help out, and it's the same with Jetco or Tulsa Driveways or whatever, I tell them to give me all the money. Just whatever that is. Yeah, there's my
I'm not
mom
dying
commenting.
soon.
Yeah. Whatever that amount is, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to try and use it the best that I can to keep my race team going. So just give me everything that you want to give me. If it's $5, which I've gotten, if it's $5,000, which I've gotten, I'm happy to take that and keep doing what we're doing.
Now, Ryan always says he's not going to retire. He'll retire when it stops being fun.
That's it.
I'm assuming you're still having fun then.
There's
There's a hesitation here.
It depends. It's funny. The only thing I don't like doing is having to wash the race car. Once I'm washing the race car, I'm
That's
fine.
what pavement racers always say when we ask, why don't you go dirt racing? Because I don't like washing my race car.
Well, it's not the washing though. I'm okay with washing the race car. When my feet are wet and it's got water drops on my glasses, that doesn't bother me. It's the having to wash the race car that I don't look forward to. I don't know why that is, but other than that, it makes it more fun, I guess, when you're running well and that kind of thing. But all I've ever wanted to do is be a race car driver. That's clearly what I was supposed to be, and that's why I still am. It's not because of me. I'm not spending, my whole life's work on doing this. It's just something that I do, and I've been able to keep doing it because I'm fortunate. But yeah, it's fun. Some nights the Hot Wheels racing is a lot more fun than the regular racing is. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm racing in the top form of motorsports in the world. I mean, the 410 sprint cars is where it's at. I know people want to argue it's Formula One or that kind of thing, but man, there's guys risking their lives, including tonight and the next 2 nights at Eldora. They're doing it 4 or 5 times a week. Sometimes Speed Week, you're 6, 7 nights in a row, and there's just nothing like driving a 410 sprint car. And so I'm still doing it. I'm very grateful to be able to do that, and I hope I can do it for many, many more years. Sorry, Mom.
I'm not really good at cleaning my car. You can ask Ron. He's seen my car.
Well, I live in Dusty Corners, Ohio, too, so sometimes I just have to wipe it off. But
Here's my thought on that deal. You don't get old because you don't quit racing because you get old. You get old because you quit racing.
yeah, and I don't plan on retiring either. I'm
There you
going to
go.
work to the end, too, because it's like a shark. You stop moving and you die, so...
So you came out to Oakshade this past weekend because you were supposed to go up to, was it Merritt?
Yeah, we were going to run a non-wing car up at Merritt, and the weather looks really bad starting on Wednesday, and unfortunately, that's one of my favorite racetracks, but they ended up raining out, so we weren't able
So
to
you
make
decided to come to check out some late model racing. So
Yeah.
have you gone to the other side?
it. Well, I've always been a late model fan. I started racing at Oakshade in a Bomber in 1987. That dates me. It's almost as old as Ron, but
Yeah.
yeah, that might have been 67, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, okay. But so, and I haven't been back there since 2001 when we ran a 360.
So did you run the regularly with the 360s when they were running that weekly?
No, actually, I only raced there once in 2001. I drove for
Okay.
a family in Toledo, and I ran third that night to Mike Dussel and Mike Linder. But so I hadn't been back in a long time, and it's got a special place in my heart, I guess, because I started racing there, and my dad raced there back in the day. And so I wanted to go check it out, do something different. Initially, I was going to have my dad come with me, and he was at the casino waiting the weather out, and he said he just hit $100 like when I was talking to him, so I knew he didn't want to go out there, and I don't know how well he did at the casino, but yeah, so I went out, and Summer Nationals race, it's a big deal, right? The birthday race is a big deal. I know that, even not being there, right? So I went and checked it out. It was a great race the night before at Crystal. Figure was pretty fast there. He came from the provisional up to fifth, so that was a good deal. But I wanted to check it out, and it was a lot like I remembered. We talked a little bit, when we were there. There's a lot of stuff that's the same as it was when I was there 20-some years ago, and maybe even when I started. But it's got a special charm to it that you don't get in the kind of polished places, the more polished places, I guess, where we race the 410 stuff. But it's got its place. It was a jam-packed crowd, and I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
And the car count was pretty spectacular too.
Yeah, I mean, when I started racing there, we had like 150 bombers.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, we had 46 late models, I think, and almost 30 of the other two divisions. So yeah, it was just the right amount of cars for some good racing. It was a little warm at the beginning. It was pretty toasty. I thought we might get a little rain. I wore jeans. I think that was a mistake to get there, but no, it was good. I got to talk to you, Scott, some. I talked to Charlie Kral was out there because his boy Alex races. It's the first time I talked to Alex. Known Charles for a little bit, but it was a really good time. I really enjoyed it.
So how come you're not down running Eldora this weekend?
Well, this story is it's pretty old actually, but it's my old engine. I mean, I've been running the same bottom end of my engine since 1998, and
Your old friends.
Yeah. I mean,
Reliable, at least.
I think that engine should go in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame when I'm done. So I did get updated heads, and they were like 2012 heads. But yeah, that bottom end's been around forever. So fresh off the dyno, on a good day, it makes around 820, and 820's not cutting it at the Big E. Even though I was looking up some times from when I ran that thing when it was new back in 1998, and they were actually going faster back then. But
Really?
yeah, the quick time was like 12.7 or
Is that because
12.987
track
or
conditions
something.
were different back
Track
then?
was a little bit different back then too. It's a little more bottom dominant at times now, but
Apparently your mom does not approve of Eldora.
yeah, no, and I'd love to go there and run there up on the fence. I was Jeff Christensen from Raceway Video has been putting up a lot of videos from back in the late 90s and early 2000s. Man, I used to run up on the fence and bang off the wall coming out of two and all that stuff, and I'm not going to do that with my stuff, but I wouldn't mind trying it with somebody else's.
Somebody
again.
else's.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned you've been running a lot of different tracks this year and doing the wingless thing. Have you done a lot of wingless racing, wingless sprint racing?
I try to run one or two races non-wing a year. It takes
Is that the correct term, non-wing as opposed to wingless?
traditional
Okay.
sprints. Yeah, I mean
Traditional.
it's a sprint car, and now we run wing sprints, as far as I'm concerned. But I've probably been a wing guy forever, I guess they call it. But no, I love the non-wing stuff. it takes a lot of the money out of it and puts the driver back into it. You can manipulate the race car different than you can with the wing. It's not exactly a slot car, but it's different what you can do with the throttle and the steering wheel. So I prefer that. It's just for the most part, it doesn't pay quite as much, or it hasn't paid quite as much as the wing stuff does. And Fremont's a mile from my house, and they pay you $400 to start over there. So I do that the majority of the time. But yeah, I started running non-wing stuff back in '92, I think. Was the first time we tried it. I got upside down, and there's a spectacular photo sequence of that being upside down. But my wife and I used to go over to Lincoln Park Speedway in Putnamville, Indiana, and race back in the early '90s. Just her and I'd tow over there on an open trailer and race with Bob Kinzer and Brad Marvel and the Kevin Thomas and all that stuff, legends of the Dave Darlin, legends of the non-wing stuff. So I really do like that, and I got off work tomorrow, and I was thinking of maybe going to Mount Pelier to race with the or not Mount Pelier, Mount Pleasant with the GLTS, but I'm not going to get stuff done in time to go up there and do that.
No, you just take the wing off of your car to go run without.
Yeah,
wings,
and
right?
I do.
You don't have
anything
a separate
else.
sprint car or
Yeah.
anything.
No. Yeah, I take I put a wide front axle in it like the non-wing guys run, and but that's about it. I'm a wing guy, I guess, running non-wing cars. So my car is set up different than some of those guys are. They get their right rear way out, and I don't, and I just drive it a little straighter and try and drive by them in the slick. So.
I'm guessing there's a lot less aero though, where the other cars are affecting you taking the air off of or.
Yeah, as far as the wing car goes, yeah, it doesn't take the wing, or it doesn't take the air off the nose as much and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a different animal, and I enjoy doing that quite a bit.
I know Brian Ruhlman had switched over to running the non-wing sprints and seems to.
Yeah, he's been
Seems to
successful.
have gone all
He's
in.
lost some weight, and he's in a wing sprint too now.
Yeah, he's running
got
a
a
little bit of
wing
wing
sprint
sprint.
now? I
Yes.
did not know that.
He's run at Butler a couple times, I think. Yeah.
Well, all right then.
He said economically it makes a whole lot more sense to him than what he was doing with the late model program.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't imagine what the late model guys are spending on their stuff, and then if you're not running, top level stuff in the top 5, from what I understand, it doesn't really pay fantastic. So
Right.
it's tough to keep that stuff going. And that's one of the main reasons not running Eldora and that kind of stuff is just it's trying really hard to price me out. It's everything is incredibly expensive now, so it's you got to be creative just to keep going.
I was gonna say, what do you think of the current state of sprint car racing? And racing in general, because it's the same with the late models as well, where things are getting pretty expensive.
As a grumpy old man,
Are you talking about Ron?
I hate it. Why's it got to be so expensive? Why am I paying $380 for a right rear tire that you run?
And
one night
I was going to ask you if that has changed. I know Hoosier, for the modifieds and the late models, announced some mid-season price increases. Did that hit the sprint cars too?
Yeah, the inflation is just crazy. Everything has gone up. Just for everybody else and everything else, it's all gone up. So, the pay has come up a little bit, but it's just it's incredibly expensive to do any kind of racing. You're spending way too much money on your super stock. I know you are.
I know I am.
And you're doing well, and you can still justify what you're doing and what you're spending to do that. So, it doesn't matter what stuff costs. There's still guys that are going to go and do it because of the thrill of it, for the love of it, and all that stuff. And right now, I have maybe some public and non-public views that are slightly different on the sprint cars right now, but it appears to be doing well. We've got a pretty fair crowd down at Eldora these last few days here. They had 60-some cars last night, I think, and it's top level stuff. There's none of me down there.
None of you.
Yeah. There's no privateers down there that are making 800 horse trying to race with them guys. So
That's 60 cars. Do you think that's part of the Eldora mystique, or?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough with Eldora. You just never know. Sometimes you get a bunch of guys that show up, and sometimes you don't. It's I don't know. It could go different ways. Sometimes you think a place is paying a whole bunch of money, and you'll have a whole bunch of cars show up, and you get 15. It's difficult. It's a volatile sport, and it's an expensive sport, and even the big teams have to decide how they want to spend money so that they're not just throwing it away.
So what's I want to get your opinion on, because I got to pick our sprint car driver is mine when we have a sprint car driver on here.
I don't know if I'm the guy. But
With the High Limit Series and the World of Outlaws kind of going back and forth all week this week, what's your opinion on having those two series and also getting the All-Star Series back this year?
as a grumpy old man,
Either way.
yeah, I mean, I have friends that work at the High Limit deal, and I know people that work at the Outlaw deal. The Outlaws, for me, are, the top of the line. That's what you always want to do forever and ever. They're the top of the food chain, and High Limit has come in and changed the dynamic some. So
High Limit's kind of started off as being like an all-star-esque series, and they've kind of
no, they were top level
okay.
midweek series stuff. That's
Yeah.
how they started, and they went right into competing with the World of Outlaws. And so, I mean, different people think different things about that, and I know that it has raised the cost of sprint car racing because it has raised the level of sprint car racing. So as a grumpy old man, I don't like the High Limit because it costs more because of them.
What about as a sprint car fan?
Well, up until last week, I had Flo, and my wife would sit down with me, and we'd watch Flo. We'd watch the High Limit races when they were on. So, I mean, the guys are still the same. The racing is fantastic. It's still the top level of motorsports. I kind of dislike it when you've got, some of the top guys here and some of the top guys there. But they get together on the big races like the Kings Royal or the Knoxville Nationals. It's kind of doubled the price for fans because now you don't just have one touring group that comes through that you spend $40 or $45 to go watch. Now you have two. So, and you want to go watch the best, right? So the fans are going to spend, twice as much money to do that kind of stuff. And like I said, I'm just a grumpy old man, so it may be good. It looks spectacular. They both have spectacular, shows that are exciting. The racing's exciting. It's still fast. It's still dangerous, and we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll take you off the hot seat.
That's as political as I want to be. I'll tell you a quick story here because Monday night they were at Fremont. And I called up Tony Laporta, who's the pit reporter for High Limit, or I texted him and I said, hey, there's a section of river to catch some smallmouth if you want to come. And so they came up Sunday because I got rained out at Florence. And Sunday we spent 4 or 5 hours in the river trying to catch smallmouth. And it was a great time. Tony's a great guy. He did a kind of little 5-minute documentary video of our Hot Wheels deal at Sharon a couple years ago. Sorry, I'm kind of forgetting you're over here, Ron. I'm looking at you there. I know you're there. But so I kind of got to know Tony a little bit. And then, we had a great conversation through there fishing and had a really good time. So,
All right. So do you remember your first win? And what was it in? Did you get a win in the Bombers when you were?
No. I'll tell you a quick story about that because you got time. So when I raced there, I was 12 years old. And you're not allowed to be in the pits unless you're 16, right? So, or maybe it was 14.
I think they kind of changed that now.
Yeah, well, it's 87.
Yeah.
So we rode in. I had a little peach fuzz at 12 years old, and I would get my uniform on. I'd go out. I'd run hot laps.
Was it with a marker?
No, it was
really?
it was a little bit of fuzz there, but I had hair down here too. I had bangs and all that stuff. But so I would put my suit on, go out and run, come back in, take the suit off, just stand there. So they didn't know where the driver was. Well, at some point, another guy and I got together, and he ended up on the other side of the fence. It was still guardrail on the backstretch. He ended up on the other side of the fence. I got some pictures of it. And
pits were still in the infield then.
The pits were in the backstretch. Yeah,
Were they? Okay.
Yeah, because I went and took a selfie from where we.
He went off of
but
1 and 2 because the wall wasn't real high there anyway.
He went off of 2. Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so he's like in the middle of the backstretch. And so the race is over. I pulled in, got my stuff off right away. And he came down and was mad, was looking for the driver, right? Which he should have been. I don't know what happened. I was 12, He ended up on the other side of the fence. I ended up spinning on the infield. Well, somehow Oakshade Remembers on Facebook, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
I posted a picture, and there he is he's off the wall there. And I said, I hope the statute of limitations has run out on his anger. I've learned a little more car control since then. And I can't remember the guy's name now, but he commented. He said that was me, and I'm like, oh, shoot.
That was me. Where do you live?
I've gotten a little better. I hope you're not still mad at me. But he said, well, I'm glad you learned how to drive a little better. So yeah. So that was interesting there. But anyway, back to my first win was in a 305. I drove for a guy named Bobby Sears in Fremont, who had several different cars that he owned, and he was a sports stock track champion at Fremont, I think, in '79. Won like 12 races or 13 races or something like that. But I was doing radio. Actually, I was doing Eagle 99 in Fremont. DC Bash, Dave Campbell was doing play-by-play, and they asked me to do color commentary because apparently, like you, they thought they could pick my brain and I would have something to add. And so I did that for a little while, and Bobby's driver had some issues, and he needed a driver, and I've known Bobby for a long time. And I said, absolutely. So I asked DC Bash if I could take this race and drive, and he wasn't going to, this racing deal, and he wasn't going to stop me. So it was towards the end of that year, I picked up I guess it was in the middle of the year because it was a Speed Week race. So I won the 305 portion of a House Sprint Speed Week race and climbed the fence and did Snow Angels and all that kind of stuff. And so that was my first win. And then
that was at Fremont, then?
That was at Fremont, yeah. Okay. Yep. And then I drove for him. He built a pretty serious 305 team for 2004, and we dominated a bunch of stuff and won both the championships.
And that's when they were still Econo sprints.
Well, I think
have they ever been Econo sprints?
At the beginning they were, yeah. But I will tell you that in 2004 when we showed up, we had Art Wendt, Joey Saldana used to drive for him, his semi truck and trailer, and rolled out this beautiful diamond plate car with the chrome wheels and
oh yeah.
Engler injection at the time was a big deal, and we had a pretty serious car. They had a 360 305 challenge race in 2004 where the SOD group came down, and there was 85 cars that night, and we smoked them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Home track advantage.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was a Jim Ford slick, they called it back then. It was a lot different than it is now. It had a berm on the inside and all that, but yeah, no, it was good times.
So, who is your current favorite sprint car racer that races right now? Not a retired one.
No, wait a minute. I thought that was one of the questions you weren't going to ask me.
I never said that.
Paul Weaver. Paul Weaver's my favorite sprint car driver. Yeah.
Okay.
Paul Weaver's my favorite race car driver. I grew up with Paul. He raced go-karts at my dad's track. But watching him over the years is just something about the way he drives that I appreciate. And he's second on the all-time list, I think, at Fremont Speedway, and has won a lot of other races in other places.
He doesn't like to do radio.
If you get to know Paul, he's funny, and he's a fantastic guy to talk to. He's just one of those guys you got to get to know.
Gotcha. So let me ask it this way. Who is right now the best sprint car driver in the country?
I'm going to catch heat for it, but I think that Kyle Larson has the best car control of anyone I've ever seen, and I've been around.
So why would you catch heat?
Not quite as long
why
as
would you
him.
catch heat for that? That seems to be a pretty...
Because in 2012, I said that when people say later who is the greatest of all time, it was Kyle Larson, and I said it a year ago, so 2011. But I've watched him since the beginning, and I know how to drive a sprint car. I haven't won a ton of races, but I know how to drive a sprint car, right? And he can do things that I don't understand. There's good race car drivers. Don't get me wrong. David Gravel is fantastic, and Brad Sweet, and all them guys that are on the top level. They're very good. But there's just some things that he's done in a race car that I can't understand.
I've always thought that Tim Richmond was the GOAT of motorsports, period. And I think Kyle Larson is better than Tim Richmond.
Yeah, well, see, there's another example.
So would you say he's the best sprint car racer, or would you say he's the best racer of anything right now?
Well, sprint cars are the top form of motorsports. He's the best at it, so he's the best.
All right.
And like I said, that's my opinion, and I know a lot of people don't think that, and then they say when he has a bad night or he gets upside down or something that he's not the best. But just my opinion. I've watched.
He's not Superman.
I've watched a lot of time or a lot of races, and his car control is amazing. Yeah.
So, what are your plans for the rest of the season here, as far as racing goes?
My wife and I have decided to just kind of go month by month and look at different things, see where we want to go. So this next weekend, Fremont has a race on the 26th, so we'll be there. And then our good friends of ours, the Dibbles, Tim and Leah, own Hartford Motor Speedway up in Michigan. They have an all-star race up there, so we're going to go up there and run that race and visit with Tim and Leah and go over to South Haven and get some fresh raspberries at their flea market or their farmers market and spend the day up there.
Talking to you Saturday, you plan things with these trips to different tracks, other things to do like the day after, day before, or whatever, right?
Yeah, so I had a guy, Christian Walton, help me out last year, but for 7 years before that, it was my wife Kimberly and myself, and whatever we did, that was just her and I. So every once in a while, we'd have somebody that would use the four-wheeler and help push us up to the track. So she has been such a trooper to hang out with me all this time with the race car and go do all this stuff. So we try and go and do something the next day or go up a day early and visit some different things. And racing has afforded us the ability to do a lot of different things and see a lot of different things and visit a lot of different people. So it's been very good for both of us, but I'm a cranky old man, so we're just trying to do different stuff. The Wisconsin deal was amazing. We got to get up to a flea market or a farmer's market up there too in Kenosha and see some different things and the traveling to Knoxville and Pennsylvania, that kind of stuff. We stop and see different things. So yeah, so the next two races we got planned out, and then we'll go from there. It's the season's going to wind down pretty quick, so we're going to try and go fast and furious and try and run more races as the season winds down and end up maybe with the Jim Ford Classic at Fremont. So
what's the best way for fans to keep up on everything going on with Brian Smith? Brian Smith Racing on Facebook?
It's at the Brian Smith on Twitter. And then it would be the Brian Smith Fan Club on Facebook. My wife takes care of a lot of that stuff. Gotcha. Put a lot of pictures up there, a lot of stuff of what we're doing and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
We'll have to make sure to follow that too.
Yeah, you should. I'm incredibly interesting, I think. I
got you on X.
I've been on this show 3 times. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah. Sponsors. You mentioned the church. Who else is keeping that? You said no house money. Who's giving you money?
So are we winding this down?
A little.
Oh, okay.
We got some other stuff to do, and we're not done with you.
All right. Well, the reason I ask is the church is on the race car. It's at Ohio Grace or ohiograce.com. You can find them on YouTube and all that. So that's the church that we go to in Fremont. We've been going there since 2020 or 2000. I'm sorry. We started in 2000. So this is why I was asking if you had time for a story, because
Sure.
I have the opportunity. I'm gonna give my Christian testimony here because I have a chance, and it's an interesting story that's led me to where I am now. So when we first got married in 1994, I was racing. Bought a race car on a credit card, which was a bad idea. But I told her at the very beginning that
I didn't know you could even do that.
Yeah, you could back then. You probably could now too, with the speed shops
Venmo
there.
or something.
Yeah. So I told her racing was number 1 and she was number 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wanted her to know right off the bat, so she knew what she was getting into. Well, that worked out okay for about 6 years, and then I was too busy, I guess, to spend time on my marriage. Didn't know what I was doing. My mom and dad were divorced. Her mom and dad were never married. So neither one of us knew how to have a marriage. And things started going awry, and somebody else stepped into her life, and I was actually at the Four Crown in 2000, and when she had an affair. So I didn't know this. I come home from the Four Crown, seen some stuff on a cell phone back then, which was like 360 communications before Sprint. It was a long time ago. We only had one phone. I saw this number that was on there, and I asked her about it, and she said she spent the night with somebody. And so now I had been an atheist up to this point, had no interest in any of this stuff, and I found myself banging my head against a wall, crying out to God, why did this happen? So I don't know what to do. It's intense, right? So I jump in my truck, and I'm going to go kill myself. So I get in my truck. And
You saved this story for the third time you're on the show.
Okay. So I needed to get this out there, and so I drive down to the gas station because apparently in order to go kill myself, I needed some gas. So sitting at the gas station, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would I just kill me? I should probably go kill her too, to get this whole thing over with. So I'm driving back home, and I'm like, I don't really want to kill myself. So I'm going to go back and tell her that we're going to go to this guy's house. So she jumps in. Her mom came over. I had a 2-year-old daughter at the time, my oldest. who headed to Eldora tonight. And we jump in a truck. I got to drive to Maumee. So we drive to Maumee down the turnpike. I don't say nothing. She thinks that I'm going to kill all three of us. You know, we get there, get to the door. Guy opens the door. I'm like, look, we're going to work this out. And I had every intention of doing something that I probably shouldn't have. And then the guy was an airborne Marine. I'm like, crap, I'm screwed.
I'm in over my head.
This isn't going to work. Yeah. So the weirdest thing in the world, we spent 2 hours at this guy's house, like trying to figure out what we're going to do, like a counseling session. It was the weirdest deal in the world. So we left that place. I didn't kill nobody. Shook hands with the guy. I felt now at this, after this, I feel like I shook hands with the devil and said, no thanks. I left, went home, took her with me. We decided we were going to try and work it out. Well, that wasn't going to work out. I ended up sleeping in my car at the park. I'm all freaked out, whatever. My dad says, hey, come down to Florida. He was living in Florida at the time near Daytona. And this is my dad who got married or got divorced from my mom. It was his time to come get me on the weekend, and he didn't show up, and I'm 9 years old, and I'm all this stuff. He wasn't there a whole lot when I was a kid, for that kind of stuff. He had gotten saved, had me come down, talk to him, gave me the gospel, explained it all to me, how Jesus died for my sins and was raised again, and paid for all that. And I understood it, had some crazy peace I never thought that I could have. October 6, 2000, I remember. He said, go back home. He said, tell your wife that, Jesus is going to be the foundation of your house from now on. And you're going to keep the kid, you're going to keep the house, and she can decide what she wants to do. So get back in my truck. Several days later, drive straight back, walk in the door. She's putting flowers up from that other guy. I told her what's happening. She didn't believe me. Obviously, why would she? Up to this point.
She got flowers from the other guy?
Oh yeah, I mean, she
and
said,
this was after you
yeah,
went?
Yeah,
Okay.
She said she wasn't going to talk to him, but that all that stuff, all that garbage is, you don't get that worked out right away, right? So I said, well, this is the way it's going to be. And I tell her, and she says, well, I got to go to Walmart. Okay, so I'm going to Walmart. So we go to Walmart. We're outside, and I'm like, just give me 2 weeks. Just like I got this figured out, which direction I'm going to go now. Give me 2 weeks. So she's like, all right, I'll give you 2 weeks. We get home. And the guy calls, and I'm like, no, she's not going to talk to you. No, I want to talk to her. Nope, this is it. You're not talking to her anymore. Okay. So the way that it was, his business kind of weaved in with where she was working. I called his business, and I said, look, here's the deal. This is what happened. I don't want this to happen anymore. I don't want you to fire the guy. If you can just move him from where he was. Well, they ended up firing the guy. It is what it is. Have not seen the guy or heard from him since. God took care of that, right? I haven't had any inkling that he was around. So she gives me 2 weeks. We decided to start going to Grace Community Church. I worked at a place called AJ's Heavenly Pizza part-time.
Wait, what was it called?
AJ's Heavenly Pizza.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard.
I was, like I said, I had nothing to do with God stuff. I worked with a lady at the business I'm still at now, was in the church and very well known in the church. And so I had a place to go. It was already predetermined. They used to have a football game between A through L and M through Z, and I would go every year for this football game. I'd park at the park next door, walk through the trees, play a football game, and leave. Never have anything to do with the church. And so anyway, we went to church the first time. I was saved at this point. I understood how this all worked, and maybe we were 2 weeks in. And Pastor Kevin, who's still there, gave the opportunity for people to pray the prayer, to ask Jesus into their life. And then raise your hand, everybody your head down. He does this deal from time to time. Put your hand up, and we just want to pray for you. We're not going to embarrass you or anything. And, of course, my eyes are wide open. I'm looking at her, and she raises her hand up. I'm like, all right,
Here
life
we
is
go.
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
life is on. So it's been a lot of work. 25 years now, it's been a lot of work. But, we beat the devil. We knocked out infidelity. God did all that stuff. Obviously, we've put all of our trust in Him, and we have an incredible marriage right now that I wouldn't trade for anything. All the stuff that we went through, it gives me an opportunity to talk to people that are going through stuff. People come to me that are going through stuff through private message and stuff because of the race car, which is the greatest thing. I can pray with people or pray for people or just kind of talk them through some things. So that has been by far the greatest thing that's happened out of having Grace Community Church on the race car. And through that, I've gotten several people through the church that have come on as a sponsor. RSS was on for many years. We've got TNT Graphics out of Bellevue, who goes to church with us. Several different handshakes. People don't want any name mentioned or anything. They just want to help out with what we do. It's the same thing with Tulsa Driveways. They saw what we do, why we do it. They came on board, and like I said, Jetco and Gressman Power Sports has been on forever. He's at the very beginning. I didn't know how to date my wife or any of that stuff. And I know this sounds weird, but I still have 2 bottles of cologne that he gave me back then. I put on every now and then. I usually smell like brake cleaner and rear end grease, but so he was a huge help through all that. And there's been a bunch of different people that have helped us all these years keep going. And then when it turned into the Grace Car, I think this is the 15th year now of the Grace Car, which, by the way, is part of their advertising budget that they set aside, and it goes towards our engine rebuild, which has doubled since they started doing that. So they used to pay for the engine rebuild, and now they pay for half of it. But I couldn't be more grateful for the way that it's worked out. And I got a good relationship with our senior pastor and many others, the heads into church that understand what we do and why we do it. And it's been a great ministry and a real blessing for me and my wife to be able to do that.
You should write a book.
Yeah, if I like to write. I did we ran the All-Stars in 1998, and last summer or the summer before, I wrote a 15-article story that got published one every week about that whole 1998 season, which Dave Kemmer read it, I'm sure. It's kind of entertaining. You should look it up, or maybe I'll send you the link or something. But I do enjoy to write to entertain myself, and we've talked about doing a book based on that and some other things. But you never know. I got to slow down and stop racing first.
Yeah, probably. So you mentioned when we started talking about house money, none of the house money goes into the race car. Did that start at this time then? Or was that even before when you first got married?
No, it definitely wasn't when we first got married, because it took us
Go back to the credit card.
Yeah, it
thing.
took us a
that's
lot of
right.
years to pay off that credit card stuff. No, it's been since the Grace Car happened in 20. I think it was either 2011 or 2012 is when that happened. And it's tough, very difficult at times to try and make that stuff last to the end of the year. I know if you have a sprint car, you have a late model, or even your sports stock, it's I go off about $8,000 to $10,000 in sponsorship a year to run 20, 25 races, which that's not very much, but
I'd be happy with that.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, but you don't have $300 tires either.
This is true. This
Right.
is true. Yeah.
Yeah, and the used tires are up to $100 a piece sometimes now.
How often do you have to get new tires? Sorry, I don't mean to go off on a tangent.
Yeah,
but-
no. It's that's one of the things is I'm easier on tires. My racing is definitely formed by the amount of money that comes into my race team. I'd love to get up there and pound the cushion and
So the more money
Try my
you
butt off.
have, the harder you can race.
yes, but I've been doing it for so long now that I'm not going to get up there and on the fence at Eldora anymore, just because I've trained myself not to do that. I don't take the chances that I'd like to. From time to time I do, and in the non-wing, I tend to run the cushion a lot more in the non-wing. I don't know why that is, because it's more difficult and more treacherous, I guess, but I feel more comfortable doing that. But yeah, it's just it's definitely shaped my racing for looking for a hole that I probably shouldn't go in here, because if I turn it over, a wing's $1,000 by the time you get everything done. $1,500 now by the time you get it ready. And I got 2 wings over the last 10 years, 8 years. So I just don't tear stuff up because I can't. The nose wing I have on a race car right now, I had it on for 2 years. I took it off because somebody wanted to give me $500 for it. Something happened, it didn't work out. I put it back on and ran it this year. It's still on there this year. It's got John 3:16 on the front of it. We try to change the verses, but I'm not going to throw away a wing. You know what I mean? So I'd love to get in there and I can race hard at times, obviously, but the cost of everything has kind of shaped that.
So you kind of got me there with the personal story. I didn't realize we were getting this personal. But
It was important
thank
for
you
me to get that out.
Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. Definitely. Definitely very cool. Makes it hard to transition back into the rest of the
Yeah,
show
what do you need
now.
me to
But
do? All right.
I mean,
So
I
this
don't,
is the part
we can't
where I
touch
Oh,
that.
it's time to go home.
This is the part where I take over the show. So let me
Just
ask
drop
you
the
what
mic.
happened. Yeah, you I don't know where you started in the heat race on Saturday, but you spun out and ended up having to go to the tail, or you got spun out. So
there was contact involved.
There was contact. Did you initiate the contact, or was that other
I kind
guy?
of got squeezed down.
Stuff
He came over and
happens.
apologized. It was just racing.
Okay, so it wasn't your fault.
But it knocked the bead lock. It bent the rim, so my right front tire was going down after that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
when we restarted, I went into turn 1 and the car just went straight.
Yeah, that's never good.
No, it scared me.
But then you had a good
But I
finish. You
passed
ended
a
up
couple
fourth.
cars with
Yeah.
the flat tire. And
Right, yeah.
made the feature.
I did
But,
see
yeah.
that. Right.
Yeah.
So there,
That's fun.
transition back to whatever you were
I
talking
appreciate
about.
it. Thank you. That was a good job. See, you should do radio too again. Brian Smith, you're going to be at Fremont not this weekend, but next weekend. That's your next race.
Yes, 26th.
There you go. And
The day after my birthday, I'll be 51.
well, happy birthday.
Yeah, so bring me some presents or some cookies or cake or something if you're not busy.
See, that's why you needed cookies tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a cookie sponsor. Maybe we can get Crumble.
We need a
sponsor.
pizza sponsor
I'll
too,
take that.
Scott.
Either
Cookie
one.
crumble would be good. You'd need to get that on there.
Yeah. Elevate your racing performance with Dominator Race Products, the premier choice for high-quality, durable race car components. From innovative nose pieces and valances to robust fenders and spoilers, their products are engineered to enhance your vehicle's aerodynamics and durability on the track. Trusted by racers nationwide, Dominator Race Products delivers the reliability and performance you need to dominate the competition. They check out their Asphalt Super late model nose kits. They produce outstanding front-end downforce and allow for better cornering without the familiar pushing issues. I copied that from their post about that.
I see. Okay. That wasn't AI.
No. Visit DominatorRaceProducts.com today to check those out or explore their extensive range of products and take your racing to the next level. One more here, and then we got some racing news, and then we're going to give away some stuff. Race fans, the 50th season at Oakshade Raceway is in full gear. You never knew who you're going to run into in the crowd. It could be Brian Smith, former race car driver at Oakshade, current sprint car master.
Participant.
Is that too much? Participant, okay. You get a participation trophy. Packed with action every Saturday night featuring the Dirt Car, UMP late models, DCR Graphic Sportsman, Dominator Superstocks, and Compacts, running full shows through the month of August, including this weekend as another full show. Of course, we have the hot dog races, the Chris Mize Memorial hot dog races coming up. We're going to 4 of those, 1 for each class. The first one will be a week from Saturday, July 26th. So a little bit extra entertainment at intermission. We'll have the drivers, as we mentioned, do a lap, get out, eat a hot dog. We'll probably make them go to there's a picnic table right behind the flag stand. Probably make them.
So what
climb
soda
through
are
that.
they going to drink? Because that would matter.
Last time I got to pick, and I think it was Red Pop, because they have Faygo there. So
Okay.
it'll probably be a Faygo product.
All right, because if you went like Nettie's or something to a drive-through and got their
I tried to make
root
it-
beer, that would be like really soft and nice and easy. But if you went like a Verner's or something
Yeah,
like
I want
that,
something not easy.
Yeah, a Red Pop's pretty good
I'm
though.
trying
That's a
to.
good choice.
I can't make it. It's $150 to win for the late
Yeah.
models and a belt, possibly.
Make it worth it.
Exactly. There you go. Follow Oakshade Raceway at oakshaderaceway.com or Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok for the latest updates. Oakshade Raceway, where the fastest meet to race. Got a little bit of racing news. Actually, there was a lot of stuff that went on this past week, but we'll just kind of
Crazy
on
stuff.
Yeah.
Latest racing news.
I had to hit that twice. It didn't play the first time. Attica Raceway Park on Tuesday, on the last lap of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series last chance qualifier, Caleb Henry, former guest on the show, was involved in a violent flip with Brady Bacon. Henry ended up in the fence in turn 4, complained of lower back pain. He was removed from his car and life-flighted to the hospital. As of Wednesday morning, all tests have come back clean. There are no broken bones. They're running more tests to find out what's causing the pain, and there was an update this morning. They posted he's doing a lot better. He's been up and walking with PT, I'm guessing physical therapy.
Physical therapy.
The doctors feel he's doing well enough to be discharged today at some point. So he may have already been discharged by this point.
Still pretty sore.
Even though he's sore with bruising, he'll be back to 100% soon with some rest, unquote. Have you had a bad crash and gotten hurt?
I'm still dealing with injuries from a crash at Attica a couple years ago. Yeah, I took my rib cage and shifted it to the back. Yeah, so I'm actually
Flip or a hit to the
yeah.
wall?
No,
or-
I flipped down the backstretch and off at turn number 3, and it was a bad one. I thought I was all right. I was sore. I raced the next night. We actually
You raced with your ribs twisted
well,
back behind you.
I didn't know it. Adrenaline was still going, and that's when I got into the Craig Mintz car when I was in the 09 Plus. But for like 5 months, we chased this issue where I had a burning in my chest on the right side, and like somebody was taking a knuckle and just shoving it into my right side. Chased this around, doctors, physical therapy, all this. Went to an orthopedic surgeon, and he said, yeah, your whole rib cage is shifted to the back, so it's pulling the cartilage apart in the front and shoving it together in the back. And I did some chiropractic treatments that's made it better. And it's been a little bit of time now. I really do need to get back there. My wife, I'm sure, is saying, yeah, you need to get back there. But
How long
so-
ago was this?
so the crash was 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So
But
it's
it
fairly
didn't
recent.
manifest itself for basically a year. I just woke up in the middle of the night and my chest was burning on this side. So I knew I wasn't having a heart attack. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I have. I separated a shoulder one time too, but that was minor.
Attica has some pretty big crowd. I work with, or used to work with Greg Litton,
Okay.
who apparently his career ended at Attica. He said he'd flipped over. I don't know if he was running a 360. Were they running 360s like in the 90s?
They had some 360 races. But I
Okay.
feel like he was running the 410s then.
Maybe he was. I can't remember. Anyways, he ended up, he's flipped over the fence and ended up on the hood of a pickup truck in the pits.
Oh,
Boy.
And did something to his back, and the doctor said, yeah, you shouldn't race anymore.
Yeah.
It was announced today, it was announced on Tuesday that Kevin Jaycox, owner of Sandusky Speedway, will retire at the end of this season. This is not a rumor like your farewell tour thing. They did a Facebook Live where he announced that. The track's been for sale for several years, and several offers have fallen through. There is some talk with someone interested in purchasing the property, but it isn't known who they are or what they will do with it. So this could be the final season for Sandusky Speedway if somebody doesn't pick that up and keep it as a racetrack.
That's
Yeah.
frightening.
Wait a minute. This could be the chance right here. Legendary
Ron
hangover
Miller.
winner right here, right?
I know. That's the big thing I'm worried about. Are we going to have a
Racing-
hangover race this year? I'm gonna
Racing
have to-
radio host Scott Hammer put a GoFundMe together for these two guys right here that
I don't
would
wanna
get
own a
enough money to
racetrack.
purchase the racetrack. Why not? It sounds like a great idea. Matt Tift thought it was a great idea. He just bought one.
Maybe he could buy.
You guys have
Sandusky
history there?
Matt Tiff has more money than Scott.
Get some of these people to donate to you and you'll be
Hey,
all right.
if you watch the Facebook Live, though, I believe Kevin Jaycock said, and I quote, anybody that owns an asphalt racetrack is an idiot today. Meaning that the dollars doesn't make it. I guess that track, because it's kind of in town there, so it's probably more valuable as something else than a racetrack, which I guess that depends on who's looking at it.
Yeah, it's got
I
a lot-
see value as a racetrack,
Track's
but,
got a lot of history,
but dollar
but
signs.
history doesn't
Yeah.
translate to dollars. Yeah.
we go there, my oldest daughter and I go there just about every year to go watch the hangover race, so that would be sad. If
Yeah,
it
me
didn't, so-
too.
Yeah, me three.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen you there like 14 times in a row.
Yeah, 15, but who's
15.
counting?
See how that is? I must have missed that. I did miss one year.
Well, hopefully something happens where it's somebody that buys the track and keeps it as a track. Maybe it's somebody from Thor Sport. They're right there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, then it can do
Fingers
truck
crossed,
testing
but-
or
Duke
something.
Thorson. Somebody call him.
Get the. In any case, get as much Sandusky Speedway as you can this season, just in case. If there's any updates on how things go, we'll let you know. Giovanni Selzi has walked away from KCP Racing during one of the highest profile race weeks of the season. The World of Outlaws driver has been with KCP Racing since 2020. He announced the news on social media this morning following a wild flip on Wednesday night's Double Down duels at Eldora. Quote, I have decided to part ways with KCP Racing effective immediately, unquote, Selzy posted on X this morning. Quote, thank you to Matt Brett and every one of our partners for an incredible 5 years of racing. They gave me the equipment and people to elevate my career and race with the best competitors in the world. Thank you, Adam Clark, for joining the team since I started in 2020. Not sure what is next, unquote. And then KCP Racing confirmed the move on social media as well, saying Giovanni Selzi has decided to part ways with KCP Racing effective immediately. Kind of strange timing on that, I would think, but I know the sprint car guys, they have like a silly season that starts about now and
Well,
kinda
the
goes
Scalzi
crazy.
family is very prominent in drag racing. I wonder if maybe he'll follow Tony Stewart.
You got any insight on this sprint car guy?
I don't. I can just tell you that sprint car racing is a very, very volatile sport.
Do you think it had anything to do with the crash?
I highly doubt that it was just the one event.
Okay.
It's unless all of a sudden Gio is afraid of crashing or something like that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. A lot of stuff builds up when you're racing, especially for 5 years. That's actually a relatively long time to be together. So, and that's the high level stuff.
Oh,
so
that's true.
You need to be at a certain level all the time. So you just never know.
A lot of pressure to win.
There is.
Did you see the story about Atomic Speedway and the Ohio Valley
I
Late
did.
Model Dirt Series?
I did.
So there seems to be a rift that has formed between Atomic Speedway and the Ohio Valley Dirt Late Model Series, as the remaining series events at Atomic have been canceled. The Ohio Valley Late Model Dirt Series posted on Wednesday that unless they removed their series announcer, Robbie DeVore, Atomic would not host any further series events. They decided to stick with their announcer and cancel all the rest of the series races at Atomic. DeVore was the announcer at Atomic last summer before leaving there to take on the announcing duties with the traveling series there, the Ohio Valley Late Model Dirt Series.
Sounds like some sour grapes going on there
But
somewhere,
that
Scott.
seems awfully petty, though, to me. There's got to be something else to this. The series will attempt to reschedule those 5 events at other tracks. So I don't know. Did you have any insight? And
No insight. I just
and DeVore's been named the announcer there at Mansfield once Tift gets that going for next year. You knew that, didn't you?
yeah.
Okay, I figured as much. You usually know more than I do. And then there was one final thing that just came up here that I didn't even have on my prep yet because just came in at 6:35 tonight.
Breaking.
From correspondent John Young sent this to me. There's been a lot of court stuff happening with the 2311 Racing and Front Row
Right.
Motorsports with their
Right.
charter with NASCAR and all that stuff. Apparently, because they had a hold or something where they still had their charter for this year.
Right.
Apparently, they don't now. So they are an open team. So they're no longer guaranteed starting positions in Cup races, starting at Dover and Indianapolis after they were denied a temporary restraining order to keep NASCAR from revoking their charter status.
So apparently NASCAR is omnipotent and can do whatever it wants.
Seems to be, yes. And that is all the racing news that I have for tonight. So, last chance to get in on that drawing again for Speedy Sponsor sticker. Hashtag Eldora. Put that in the comments. We'll be doing that drawing here very shortly. And producer Dave's been tabulating things. He wanted us to get done early tonight because I think he wanted to watch Eldora. He watches a lot of stuff. He usually has like
stuff.
10 TVs or
Yeah.
something going at once. So
He texted me one time he had to move a rolling TV stand out of the way so he could get his pizza or something. He's got a lot of stuff going on there.
if you're planning your dream wedding or special event, make it unforgettable with Magic Moment Entertainment. Mention the Hammer Down Racing Report when you book, and you'll get $100 off for your reception DJ service. With over 30 years of experience, Ron Burt will make sure your event is perfect. Magic Moment handles everything from contracts to full liability insurance, giving you peace of mind. Plus, no hidden fees, no charges for mileage or dance floor lighting ever. He serves Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky. Magic Moment specializes in wedding receptions, but they also excel in corporate events and mitzvahs. They take pride working closely with couples and clients to create magical moments tailored just for you. Call 419-594-2261 or find Magic Moment Entertainment on Facebook under Magic Moment Entertainment or Ohio Sports Blitz. And I got this nice letter from Ron.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that handwritten?
It is handwritten. Look at that.
That is
Handwritten.
impressive.
Oh, yeah. He says, hi, Scott. Hope you had a great 4th. Since running ads with you, I asked permission before I read this out loud to everybody. He said, yeah, it's fine. Since running ads with you, I get calls. So, worked weddings already from my ads with you in Sandusky, Fremont, Toledo, Wauseon, Bryan, Napoleon, Findlay, Lima, Mount Pleasant, Hillsdale, Jackson, Monroe. He's got 6 more bookings already for 2026. He'd have more if he hasn't been in the hospital. He had the
Right.
what was it, kidney
Right.
replaced there. He says my ads are keeping my name out there and keeping his bills paid. So we thank him for sponsoring.
like
He thanks
it.
us. Yeah. So the advertising works sometimes.
At
In
Hammer
this
Down
case,
Racing
There
Report.
you go. We have a very dedicated audience. And speaking of our dedicated audience, they like to call us and keep our some of our segments that I like to kill off going, including the Hammer Down Hotline. We got a call on the Hammer Down Hotline here. We're going to play back. If you want to call, if you got something on your mind, call or text anytime during the week, 419-318-3081.
Good job, Scott.
I was reading it right off the screen there. So here's our call, and I'll address the answer to this one.
Hammer Down Hotline.
Well, you probably don't have many people calling the Hammer Down Hotline because it rings 8,000 times before it picks up. What is up with that? But anyway, I was just wanting to know when you're going to have Matt Tift on the show to talk about the happenings at Mansfield Speedway. There's a lot going on there. It's going to be exciting stuff, I think. Y'all did a good job. Ow!
I don't know what that was.
I don't know. I think I've heard that, before.
That
though.
was the call unedited, though. I was like, no, I'm not going to edit any of that. I'm leaving it all in there. The answer to your question, when Matt Tift is going to be on the show, is most likely next Thursday. So I hope that is soon enough for you. We've been working on that for a little bit. So
That wasn't Matt Tift disguising his voice. Asking
it
that
could have
question?
been. I don't know. But
Sounded a lot like him.
we've had him on before. I don't remember him sounding like that. But again, there's the number if you want to call or text anytime. And that is a Google number, so that's why it rings forever. 419-318-3081. I think I can set the number of rings. Maybe I'll have to check on that. Make sure
Set it
rings.
at 7,999.
Yes, there you go. Let's do. We're gonna do the drawing for the sticker here after our weekend weather pit stop. How's that? So
Okay.
we've got a couple minutes to put hashtag Eldor in for the Speedy Sponsor sticker. In the meantime, it is time for how many? I do believe. Yeah, let's do that.
How many?
So last week's how many was Ron likes to do math questions. So last week's math question was how many late models were going to be at Oakshade on Saturday, plus how many high limit sprints at Fremont on Monday, plus how many World of Outlaw sprints at Attica on Tuesday.
And they exceeded all of our expectations.
So those numbers that I got officially tabulated here were 44, 45, and 45.
Right.
And that total is 134. I used the calculator to make sure my math was right on that. You picked 124, and I was pessimistic and went 123. So congratulations, Ron. You were the closest there. And as far as our listener winner and the winner of a Hammer Down Racing Report window sticker, courtesy of DCR Graphics, was Mr. Joshua Schoenauer.
Ooh.
He guessed 138.
Ooh.
So he was the closest of our listener winners for that math question there.
And Brian, this isn't like the Price is Right.
It's whoever's
just
closest.
Whoever's closest.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Well, it sounded like he went with $1 because he went one underneath you.
Well, then I would have won anything 123 or less.
If they
Yeah,
were,
that's-
and remember, last weekend there was a threat of rain.
Yeah. I didn't think we were going to run on Saturday. The weather changes. You never know what Mother Nature's going to do.
Last week's weekend weather pit stop said if they were dedicated to getting the show in, they were going to have a great show. And
And I went with that. So then that's
And
why I went out early. So
Saturday worked.
congratulations, Joshua Schoenauer. This week's how many is actually not going to be a how many. It's just a number. And it's no math involved in this one. It's going to be very simple. And I forgot to do my homework. But it is, let me bring up our comments here because I like to see when people put in their guesses. The winning number, the number on the winning sprint car of the King's Royal on Saturday. That is this week's.
That one's a piece of cake, Scott.
Is it?
57.
See, now you picked my number.
Sorry.
So you're going with 57.
That was-
Brian, you're here. Who's Who's going to win? What's the winning
I'm
number?
kind of fond of the number 2.
You think he's going to get
I'm
that
gonna take the
wing
number 2.
fixed?
Yeah,
You're going to take a number 2?
I'll take the number 2. Yeah.
You going to put a letter with it?
No,
You don't
I'm gonna
have
go with
to.
it too. I know that David and Cody are very good at Eldora, and that's a show they really want to win. So I'll take that.
What number's Colfoyd?
Kofoid is 83.
83.
83.
I'm going with that. That's my number there.
Fine.
I'm going with 83. So we are all over the place. 257, 83. If you want a chance to win a Hammer Down Racing Report sticker, courtesy of DCR Graphics, go ahead and put your guess in the comments of our Facebook Live or YouTube Live. We'll give you until 5 o'clock on Saturday. So if you're listening to us on the podcast, you can hit up either the YouTube video or the Facebook video and just get your comment in there. As long as it's before 5 p.m. Eastern Time, you will be eligible.
Now, what's the wording on that? What's the number on the car?
Number of the winning car of the King's Royal on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and that is intentional that the on Saturday is in there. I don't know if there's a rain date for the King's Royal.
I think it's next day, but I'm not sure.
So, yes, there you go. That is...
We do have a sprint car professional in
And-
the crowd here.
Participant.
if they don't run on Saturday, then 0 will be... Even though it's not really... I don't know. Should we do 0 or should we just...
You probably should have thought about this before you went live.
Probably
with this
should have.
question.
We probably should have. Probably should have worked out all
Well
the details.
thought out again, guys.
We're just gonna we'll figure it out depending on what happens. Right now they're gonna run on Saturday, and the winning car number is that's the guess you put.
If they race on Sunday, that number will carry over to the next day.
All right, we can do that. Usually we're pretty fair about things like that. Usually. So there you go. Let's see, we got guesses all over here. 49.
Red Sweet.
Okay,
Is Rico Abreu there?
Yeah.
not bad, not bad.
Good number, Gretchen.
Wait, what did she have? Oh, 57. Oh, she picked your number. Kyle Larson. All right, let's check out the racing action coming up this weekend, and then we're going to draw for the Speedy Sponsor sticker here. It is time for your DCR Graphics menu.
What?
Yep, I think it's...
This weekend's racing menu.
I guessed right. Yay! Racing tonight at Eldora Speedway, Joker's Jackpot featuring Kubota High Limit Racing Sprints. That's going on now. That's actually being broadcast on FS1 as well as Flow Sports tonight. So that's kind of a pretty big thing.
It is. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Friday night, Eldora back in action with the night before with the World of Outlaw Nash Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Gates open at 2, racing at 8. General admission tickets are $35 for that. Also, Lima Land Motorsports Park in action with Meet the Drivers Night with the Great Lakes Sprint Series, UMP Modifieds, and Thunderstocks. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:30. General admission $15. Saturday night, Lorraine Raceway Park. They'll have the CRS trucks. It's also Ride in a Race Car Night. I miss those.
Ooh.
Modifieds, Grand Nationals, Factory Stocks, Ohio Pro Compacts, and those CRS trucks in action at Lorraine Raceway Park. Gates open at 2:30, racing at 6, general admission $18. Flat Rock Speedway, it's the Moran Chevrolet Stanye 150 with Outlaw Super Late Models. Street Stocks also in action, and the National Compact Touring Series. Gates open at 4, racing at 7, general admission $26 there. Flat Rock, Montpelier Speedway back in action with the Open Wheel Night, featuring the American Sprint Car Tour Sprint Cars, USAC Midwest Thunder Midgets, and Super Stocks. Oh, and mini sprints, or micro sprints, excuse me. Gates open at 4 at Montpelier, racing at 7, general admission $12. Oakshade Raceway, full show there on Saturday with the Dirt Car Late Models, DCR Graphics, Sportsman, Dominator Super Stocks, and Compacts. Gates open at 4, racing at 7:15, general admission $15. Butler Speedway, $750 to win for the Street Stocks. 410 Sprints, Modifieds, and 4 Cylinders also in action. Gates open at 4, racing at 7:30, general admission $15 at Butler. Eldora Speedway, the $200,000 to win King's Royal. What's the most you've ever won, Brian? Was it $200,000?
Yeah.
Almost.
Okay.
Yeah, take away a 0 at the end. Yeah.
20,000, really?
Oh, no, 2 zeros. I am not good at math. I own a race car. I'm clearly not good at math.
Those darn decimal points get you every time.
Yeah.
200,000 to win Kings Royal. That would fund your racing program for a little bit, wouldn't it?
You know, if the 200,000 would pay for what you spend to win 200,000, that would be fantastic. But that's not really the way it works.
That's the Kings Royal Saturday at Eldora with the World of Outlaw Now Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Gates open at noon. Racing at 8 o'clock. General admission $50 for that show. Wayne County Speedway in action with late models, UMP modified, street stocks, mini sprints, and mod lights. Gates open at 3. Racing, I believe at 7 for that one. General admission $20 there. And then looking ahead to next week, it's the High Miler week
At Sandusky.
Sandusky Speedway, starting Wednesday night, July 23rd, with the Must-See Racing 410 Sprints, Must-See Lights, and Compacts. Gates open at 5, racing at 7:30. General admission $20 on Wednesday. And then 1 week from tonight, Thursday, July 24th, Sandusky Speedway will kick off the 48th High Miler Super Modified Nationals with Fan Appreciation Night, $1 admission, $1 hot dogs, $1 beers and Pepsi products. That'll feature the Midwest Truck Tour, Grand Nationals, Factory Stocks, Warriors, and North Coast Vintage Cars. Gates open at 4:30, racing at 7:30. General admission, $1. So
That's why they call it dollar night, Scott.
exactly. How is that weekend weather pit stop looking for this weekend, Ron?
Yeah. Scott, Friday looks good. There's good chance of rain.
Supposed to be cool too.
Early in the afternoon on Friday. Rain should be ending. The weather gods are saying somewhere around 2 o'clock. So
I didn't think there was any rain tomorrow, but
yeah,
okay.
little chance.
All right.
Saturday doesn't look very good at all for the upper Midwest. Pretty much all inclusive. Rain starting around 2 o'clock early afternoon and heading through mid-evening, 6:30, 7, maybe even 8 o'clock.
So definitely keep an eye on social
For
media
Saturday,
for
yes,
the
sir.
Saturday tracks.
Yep.
How's that going to affect? How are things? Does that include Eldora then on Saturday?
Yes, it does.
Now that would be one of those tracks that they're going to do everything they can to get it in. Like last night, they had a rain delay.
That was crazy, too.
I didn't. I tuned in
That-
during the rain delay.
If that rain started 2 minutes earlier, there would have been massive crashes because they had just finished, I think it was heat race number 5, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, sun shining, it was a deluge, just dumped water all, and it took probably an hour and a half to get the track back.
See, I missed all that. When I turned it on, it was commercial break, rain delay.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, okay. Then I turned it on later, and they were doing hot laps. So.
right. After your nap?
Yeah, well, no. Yes, whatever. Dave, we're going to spin the wheel, find out who our Speedy Sponsor sticker winner is tonight. Anytime you are ready, go ahead and spin that wheel. He is still there. Okay, good. Making sure we didn't lose Dave yet.
Hasn't fallen asleep yet.
No, not yet. Thinking about it. So this is for this week's Speedy Sponsor sticker. Everybody that put in hashtag Eldora. I'm going to guess it's going to be Skylar Hovis.
I was going to say it's got to be a Hovis.
Congratulations, Skylar Hovis. I'll probably end up bringing this to the track, too, because I'll probably see the Hovises out there as well. So thank you, Producer Dave, for running that for us. I got 2 things to bring out to the track now. Other series action this weekend. You got the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the 15th Annual Silver Dollar Nationals at Houston Speedway in South Dakota. That's tonight through Saturday. Arca Menard Series, General Tire 150 at Dover. That's going to be Friday night starting at 5 o'clock on FS1. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, also at Dover for the Bit Rivers 200. That will be at 4:30, and you can watch that on the CW. NTT IndyCar Series action. The Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto at the Streets of Toronto. That's going to be Sunday at noon on Fox. And then the Cup Series Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 from Dover Motor Speedway. That'll be on Sunday at 2 p.m. on TNT. And that's going to do it, I think, for this edition of the Hammer Down Racing Report. Want to put out a plea for our late model drivers and sportsman drivers.
Yeah, don't make me start making phone calls, guys.
For the
Put your hand up.
Chris Mize Memorial Hot Dog Races. Again, we got the late model events coming up a week from Saturday. And $150 going to the winner of that, courtesy of Black March Defense Labs and the Hammer Down Racing Report. And we also have that the championship belt going to the fastest overall time among all 4 divisions.
Right.
So more information and to sign up, you can, if you're interested, get a hold of Ron or get a hold of myself, or you can go to hammerdownracingreport.com, fill out the form there, because we'll figure out who the competitors are going to be on next week's show.
No form to fill out if you call Scott or
correct.
Or me.
Shoot us a message on Facebook. Just somehow let us know you're interested. So there you go. Thanks to producer Dave Kimmer, contributors John Young, Matt Swander, Bob Stazak. There was a lot to cover this week.
It was. And a great guest, Scott.
Absolutely.
It was very entertaining.
Yes, thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thanks for letting me.
When's the first time you shared that story?
Oh, not that long after.
Okay.
At our church we did that, but I've done it several times since then. We've been several different places where I've been able to do that. So
awesome. Very inspiring. Very inspiring. Make sure to like us on Facebook. Follow us on X at Hammer Reports. Follow Brian on X, the Brian Smith.
The Brian Smith.
Listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And don't forget, you can always check out hammerdownracingreport.com for anything. Thanks to our sponsors, Oakshade Raceway, Romular Race Cars, Magic Woman Entertainment, Dippin' Motorsports, Dominator Race Products, DCR Graphics, and Freeze Frame Photos. Thanks again to Brian Smith for coming in the studio this week and sharing your stories with us. We're going to have to make it...
have to do it again?
Make you a 4-time eventually.
Yeah, let me know when somebody gets here too many times. I'll come back. I'll come up with some different stories. I got a lot of them.
Next week on the show, working on getting Matt Tifft. Unofficially, he will be on the show. I haven't got the final confirmation yet. But
in case you've been living under a rock, new owner of Mansfield Raceway.
Basically revamping that to a dirt track. And eventually, I think he's going to go back to asphalt. But
we'll see. Maybe
we'll talk to him about that.
He'll fall in love with the dirt.
Maybe. Well, he runs a dirt late model.
Yeah.
He runs asphalt and dirt.
Yeah.
Have you ever run asphalt?
Believe it or not, I'm old enough to have run Mansfield when it was dirt, and then when it was pavement. Okay. And now it's dirt again. So, yeah, I've been around.
I never ran it when it was paved.
No, I ran a 305 sprint car there one time.
Is dirt more fun than the asphalt?
I always wanted to be a super late model driver, so I don't know. I'd like to put some time in there. Maybe you can get me a ride through this deal here. I'd get a super late model ride.
There you go. If you have a super late model, would you run the Stan Yee 150 at Flat Wreck?
Man, that'd be fantastic. It'd be a dream come true.
Looking for an experienced driver, grumpy old man.
I do have a third place finish on pavement in a sprint car at Sandusky, so I can make some laps.
Well, you get fenders and you'll be unstoppable.
Ooh,
right?
I got a 7th place finish in a stock car over there. So yeah, there's a top 10 stock car guy. I need a super late model ride based off that.
Get a hold of Brian Smith. He's available Saturday night. He's not racing yet.
No, not Saturday. Nope. I'm free.
Let's
do it.
We'll see you next Thursday at 7 o'clock. That's our wrap on show number 387 of the Hammer Down Racing Report.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report, available on demand on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting platform.